Oh yeah, Atlanta. So for any of you that have been around for a while, this might actually look a little bit familiar. I did some videos here a couple years ago. And you know what? In the spirit of relics, just like Chef Gabe, hey, veggie burgers, my very first video, right? That was my beginning, that's my baby, right? But I feel like it's the responsibility of any parent to recognize when they have an ugly baby. Veggie burgers, today at Café Gabe. All right, we're kind of just gonna skip to the mid to end part of this, but I will explain what I did. I don't have a lot of room to work with here. This table is not very photogenic, but I recorded everything, so let me just run you through it really fast. These burgers are of three main ingredients. We have our brown rice, black beans, seasoned sweet potatoes, okay? So for the sweet potatoes, cut 2 medium-sized sweet potatoes into, half-inch pieces, basically. Sometimes I will do them kind of different sizes because it will add some like chunk of sweet potato in the burgers and then the rest of it kind of helps bind it together, but that's up to you, right? Basically, around half-inch pieces. Gonna go ahead, coat those in some olive oil on my sheet pan, season with, I'm using some Cajun seasoning. You can do the same thing with just salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, some chili powder, season honestly however you want. That's just what I normally do. Throw them in the oven at 425 for about 25-30 minutes, right? The longer they cook without burning, the softer they're gonna be, which is kind of ideal in this case. On top of that, I just cooked some brown rice, standard. You just need a cup of cooked brown rice, sweet potatoes, brown rice, and just a can of black beans, drained, easy. Gonna pour all that into a bowl. As well, I've got some minced cilantro and some cut up diced red onion. And then I'm gonna very lightly sprinkle on some additional flavor, a little bit more garlic powder, a little bit more salt, a little pepper, a little paprika, kind of to taste. I will say if you're seasoning your sweet potatoes, you don't need to over season your mixture, right? So be mindful, less is more, go at a slow pace. I have made the mistake of forgetting that I've already seasoned the sweet potatoes, and then suddenly I have just these saltiest, spiced veggie burgers that I now have to eat, so be mindful of that. Now you'll see on the video, I am using a firm green spatula. If you have a masher, like a mashed potato masher, that also works totally fine. Anything, a hard wooden spoon, if I had a wooden spoon, that would even be ideal. You want to make a heterogeneous mash, right? You want some larger pieces than others. I used to do it in a food processor and you get like a puree. I mean, that's a lot more of a clean look, but it's just kind of a mush. I don't care for that as much. I want a little bit of bite, some texture, some mouthfeel, and I find that I get that by just by hand mashing and mixing. Smearing with that spatula, mashing the moisture from the brown rice, the moisture from the beans, the moisture from the sweet potatoes, kind of help create that stickiness that we need until you get a certain mixture that looks just right. You'll see it, beautiful color, beautiful schmear, a flavor rainbow. Now, it's got to sit for probably 20 or 30 minutes to cool because it's going to be hot as hell, right? Hot as hell. Once it is cooled, I use a hamburger mold. You don't have to do that. You can just get your hands a little flour, mash them into a shape. You don't have to do patties. Everything is already cooked. So you can just as easily crumble that up and fry it to get a little crispy. You can put it on top of a salad. You can make little veggie burger balls. Serve that on whatever you'd like to. Everything in there is cooked. It's ready. Just eat it out of the goddamn bowl. It's ready to go, right? I am going to use a burger mold because I find as far as making veggie burgers goes, it makes it a lot easier to make them flat on both sides so it cooks evenly. Once they are molded, pop them onto some wax paper, parchment paper on a plate, and it's ideal to chill them for at least 2 hours. I've done it as quickly as an hour. I've let them sit overnight. These actually sat overnight. You just want to give it some time to kind of hold its shape. If you just immediately take it from the mold to the pan, it's gonna fall apart. So we're getting ready to cook right now. I'm gonna do 2 other things before we put it on the pan. I'm going to cut one of my nice yeast rolls. I will also kind of hollow it out a bit down the middle. That's just the thing I've been doing lately. I've actually really enjoyed it. You don't have to do that. It's a burger. It can sit fine on its own. I'm also going to make a very basic aioli, just some mayonnaise, mustard, red wine vinegar, garlic, salt, pepper, done, right? Gonna throw on a piece of cheese, and that'll be it. It'll be ready to go. So let's go ahead and start by prepping our buns. Now, if you've never cut bread with a serrated knife, let the weight of the knife do the work. Don't squeeze or press. Also, don't cut into your goddamn fingers. Very lightly, I'm gonna just kind of peel away at some of this. The bun is a means to an end. The bun gets the burger to your mouth. I have these two hollowed out halves of my bun. For my aioli, just a helping of mayo. I've got some Dijon mustard, garlic salt, fresh ground pepper, red wine vinegar. I always seem to forget that I'm left-handed when I set up these shots. I'm gonna go ahead and heat this cast iron skillet under like medium-high heat, right? 6, 7 out of 10. Get it nice and hot, throw in a bit of olive oil. I'm gonna throw down one of my first burgers. Everything's already cooked, right? We're just kind of like reheating / slightly toasting to give it some texture. I'm also gonna turn the broiler on for my buns. Get that going. Olive oil in, olive oil heated. Let's get our first burger on there. Because they chilled overnight, they have a nice shape to them that they can hold on to. Turn my heat down to like a medium, 5 out of 6, or 5 out of 6, 6 out of 5, 6 out of 10. I'm gonna set a timer for like 2 minutes, just to let it heat up. Now while that first half is cooking, I've got my Gouda cheese here that I'll be putting on top right after I flip it, assuming this thing opens. It's always a good sign. It's raining outside today, so forgive me in advance. It was much brighter earlier. Oh, that's our 2 minutes. Let's give us a flip. Yes. You see that? A little crispy. Throw down our cheese. Give it another 2 minutes and we'll be good. Doesn't take very long. Everything's already cooked. We're just kind of heating it up basically. While those 2 minutes are going, let me throw in our buns into the broiler. Get those toasting. Love it. Ba-ba-boom. Let me take my buns out of the broiler. Yeah. A little crisp, but good stuff. Ow, and they're hot. So in order to get my bun ready, I'm gonna take some of my aioli and just pour it down, smear it around. Sliced avocado here. Let's go ahead and in kind, get that out of there. Yeah. Settle you in there, nice. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. It's almost a perfect fit. Like a princesa. Oh yes. Oh yes. The assembly is basically done. Take this, throw it there. Gonna just ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom. Oh my gosh, my friends. We are in business. I love it. Let's give it a cut. Let's peel that bad boy open. Oh man. Would you look at that? Beautiful layering. Avocado, some nice avocado, some nice Gouda cheese. Look at those beans. This is what I'm talking about. We didn't mix everything into a puree. The beans still have their shape. The potatoes still have their shape. We are looking at some delicious frickin' stuff, guys. Good deal. All right, guys, taste test. I got one of these halves, bad boy right here. I love this recipe. I loved it all those years ago when I did it the first time. With some time and experience, this is gonna be even better. I just know it. So, oh man. It's just a perfect mix of flavors. You know, I'm a man that likes some meat, don't get me wrong. Love me some protein, beef, chicken, fish, goat, lamb, gazelle, I don't know. I actually have a great love for vegetarian recipes, often because they just have such good flavors, natural flavors. The cheese and the aioli mix so well together. Maybe a little bit too much garlic salt in the aioli, but I could easily just fix that by adding more of everything else and diluting it a bit. But this is, so damn good. I don't know, if you've never tried a veggie burger recipe, you think it's gonna be a bunch of, greens or whatever, which that would be fine. Hey, do me a favor, do you a favor, give this one a try. I promise you, there's a reason I've been going back to this same vegetarian recipe for the past 6 years, right? It's just that good. But guys, hey, thank you so much for coming to Café Gabe. If you haven't already, hey, subscribe to the channel. I've got new videos coming out. I'm gonna get a few recorded while I'm here in Atlanta, get a few recorded in my next place, getting back in the groove of things. If you tried the recipe and liked it, please like the video. And if you have any ideas for me, comments, concerns, thoughts, did you try anything different, maybe some different spices? I thought about maybe trying this with yuca instead of sweet potatoes. I do love yuca. Hey, whatever you try, put it in the comments. I would love to hear it. But otherwise, guys, anyway, hey, thank you so much for coming to Café Gabe. Use the bigger bowl. Stay hungry for me. Adios.